October of 1994 brings us to Image X month. Jim Lee takes over on Savage Dragon number 13, and Erik Larsen goes off to do Wildcats 14. So let's start with the Savage Dragon issue here. Jim Lee is not alone. Brought a lot of help. Brandon Choi on the story. And then a whole lot of inkers, like 4 different inkers here. Richard Bennett, Alex Garner, Dan Panosian, and Scott Williams. So this pretty much reads like, I was reading Wildcats at this time, so this is very much like a Wildcats kind of grifter story. And it's definitely a big departure from the Savage Dragon issues that we've been looking at. Much more of a, typical kind of 90s comic. There's this arms deal that goes wrong. Grifter and the cops are all there. The mob is involved somehow. And it goes bad. People get shot, but everybody lives, it seems like. The Savage Dragon shows up. And, oh shit, I think Alex even gets shot. Yeah, shit. Alex gets shot in the chest. Savage Dragon's partner takes one. Everybody ends up in the hospital, I guess. Grifter, Alex, Savage Dragon, and Stevens. They're all sort of taking stock of what the hell just happened with this deal that went bad. And, because the bad guys have escaped. And apparently this dude, Demon Seed, this is this guy in red, he's making deals with these other flunkies, Max, Prophet, and Renko. There's a whole bunch of listen to this, reality check, Demon Seed. I was the one who got you inside Chicago Underworld. If it weren't for my help, you'd still be flapping your wings in Gomorrah, fighting Kazin and his clan. I don't think we deal with any of this story later. It's all just kind of filler in a lot of ways. This chick works for Aya. Anyway, this poster's pretty badass. That's kind of cool. But this story is ridiculous. Well, yeah, forget the story. Here's the Spawn Mobile is going to be on tour. Pretty dope. There's double crossing going on, and I actually tried to read this thing, and I felt it was so stupid. Grifter's friend's kidnapped. Dragon helps him out. There's another shootout that doesn't seem to have much consequence. That's a nice double page spread there. That's pretty cool. That's horrible sound effects, though. You can't even see this. This issue is just really a big departure from what you'd normally enjoy about a Savage Dragon issue. This storytelling is so unclear. They break up this arms deal that's on the docks or something, and then the Demon Seed guy tells his buddy to we've got most of the weapons on your ship here, so I'll see you at the mothership. And then he's taking the skiff, and they're getting away. And Grifter pulls out a bazooka. I think it's some of the weapons. So I don't know if they got, I guess most of the weapons are on the ship, but they still left some weapons here. So Grifter pulls one up, and he just blows up a ship. I'm not sure if it's the skiff that guy took off on, or if it's the mothership that they were talking about meeting up. Because I think he said most of the weapons were on the mother. Anyway, but I guess they saved the day and killed both of the bad guys, or one of them. I'm not sure who lived or died. Finney, man. And then Grifter and his girlfriend kiss. There's barely any Savage Dragon. I kind of hated this comic. Let's see. There's still stuff in the letters page. There is one interesting letter that Savage Dragon or Erik Larsen is replying to a guy who's asking about the paper stock and Savage Dragon's size. Like, he thinks that Savage Dragon has been getting bigger, like, throughout the series, that he started off one size in the miniseries, but he got bigger and beefier. And I think that's right. So, Erik Larsen says that, the dragon was always supposed to be big, and he was during the initial miniseries, but other artists started drawing Savage Dragon in crossovers, and, like, he looked puny in comparison. And so when he would appear in other people's books, it seems like they would draw Savage Dragon smaller, and so he wanted to, like, make sure that he got the size scale of dragon right, and so I think he started drawing him bigger. That's about it for the letters page. You get a nice look at some Spawn toys in the back there. So what was going on with Larsen at the time? He was doing this book, Wildcats number 14. I liked this one a lot more. Let's see, Erik Larsen doing the writing, penciling, inking, and then Chris Eliopoulos on the colors. Oh, wow, we get a resident Jim Lee clone is Josh Eckhorn. That's kind of funny. So yeah, it mostly features the Wildcats in Larsen's style here. What the hell? I don't know if you can hear my pipes clanging, but anyway, I think he does a pretty good rendition of the Wildcats here. Anyway, what happens with this? The Freak Force have apparently got into some fight earlier that injured a person when some debris fell onto them, and Maul is pissed off about that because he heard it on the radio, and now he's going to go. He blames Mighty Man for injuring this person that I think might be his girlfriend or something. So, this is him, and he turns into this big purple guy. He's riding this Kirby vehicle. And he shows up to the hospital and just starts taking out Mighty Man. They get in a big brawl. Freak Force shows up. The Wildcats show up. And then there's a melee that they have. And I like this because, it's a lot of characters to keep track of. And he does a good job with highlighting everybody here. You get a one-on-one panel between each character, basically, from Freak Force and Wildcats. And this is a great one with Super Patriot and Spartan just taking each other apart. And anyway, Savage Dragon shows up. He recognizes Grifter from this issue. And he apparently, just yells, "Hey, everybody stop." And they all stop fighting each other and killing each other. Except for Maul. So Maul is his superpower is that the bigger he gets, the dumber he gets. And so he's too big and too stupid right now. But Mighty Man changes back into his alter ego, Nurse Ann Stevens. And that's enough to trigger Maul to shrink back down to size. And they shake hands. I guess it's all cool. All this destruction that happened. Anyway. His girlfriend lives. They have a beach party, and everything's cool. Erik Larsen has a little letter in the back here that talks about Image X Month and how it came up as an idea. And there was a couple of other ideas. They didn't want to tell people who was going to be doing which issue, but the retailers started to grumble about who was going to be ordering. They didn't know how to order each book or whatever. And then Wizard announced who was going to be on the books, but it actually wasn't correct. They got it wrong. But anyway, it all worked out. He thanks Jim Lee for taking care of his book. He apologizes to the regular Wildcats readers and saying, I know you might not like it, but if you did, try Savage Dragon or Freak Force. And there's a whole lot of crossovers going on. Shit. We got Freak Force being invaded by Cyber Force. I think Savage Dragon is going to be in the pages of Backlash 2. That's a really horrible advertisement. You get the Call of the Wild letter column here. Nothing too interesting to me. What else is in this sucker? Wildcats Chromium cards, the Blackthorn video game with artwork by Jim Lee, Team 7 by Aaron Wiesenfeld. That's a cool series. So, wow, we're going about 10 minutes here. Next up is going to be the Savage Dragon number 13. So after this came out, like within a year, Erik Larsen was so upset, he came back and re-released issue 13 the way he wanted to do it. And I guess I'll talk about that in another episode.